How old are you?
16.
16.
I'm 17.
16.
16.
What's your opinion on drama films?
I like them, but they can be quite depressing, so it's nice to have a bit of comedy.
I prefer rom-coms personally, but I do quite like a drama film.
I really like them because I like getting into a film and truly feeling the emotion of it all. So.
I don't really like them.
Why?
Because I don't like watching films, so I like films to make me happy rather than sad.
I like drama films because it will suit my emotions from time to time. So if I'm having a bad day, I'll probably take one out and watch them because they're mostly depressing, aren't they? What kind of sound or music do you expect in a drama film?
Probably more slow, like violins and stuff.
Yeah. Really simple and basic music, but it's like really slow.
Yeah.
Like this.
What?
Ones that are usually like, depending on the atmosphere and what the scene is, like if it's a tense bit, you like something that's a bit like dramatic in the background, but if it's like sad or it's love, you want to feel like violin, something like that.
Any other instruments?
The flute.
One to go with the storyline, so tension ones or like happy or
What sort of instruments?
I don't know. Classical violins.
Depends really on the storyline. If it's like a tragic kind of storyline where someone's dying, perhaps maybe the music would be quite slow and soft and calming, like the use of like violins and cellos, just any like string accompanied. That's it.
What kind of storylines do you expect or prefer in drama films?
Depressing.
There's always like love, and then someone dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a tragic incident.
There's always a lot of love there to heighten
the tragic incident.
I like ones that are like more to do with death. It sounds really gory, but I like the ones that are death because it's something that's not really investigated that much because it doesn't really happen in your general day-to-day life, but it happens every day, so you want to like look into it like individually.
Sad ones about love and heartbreak.
Okay.
Or key events in history or death.
I think someone would have to be ill, and you see their everyday life with their family, and then something would happen, like they would die, and then we would see the family react and everything, or like an animal dies, like Marley and Me. Good film.
Like you get to see they're like a couple, and then they're like forbidden love, and then they finally get together, and one of them dies or something. Like death.
Okay.
What time period would you expect in a drama film?
I'm probably modern because I can relate to it more. Like it's more sad. It has a higher impact on me when it's like modern. Yeah.
I prefer modern, but they can happen like all of them because there's like the traditional Romeo and Juliet, which is like obviously back in the day, and then there's the modern ones like My Sister's Keeper or stuff like that.
Throughout all eras, maybe older ones.
Okay, is that what you prefer?
Yeah.
I prefer modern day because if I can relate to it more because I'm modern day, whereas if it was back in the day, it could be quite difficult to understand what happens because I wasn't back in the day. So if it is modern, I would relate to it more and enjoy it more.
Now, modern. Yeah, modern.
Do you prefer that better than old-fashioned?
Sometimes.
Bearing that in mind, what costume would you expect?
Modern,
Day to
normal
day.
normal clothes.
Depending on the era, like Romeo and Juliet, you'd want to see the big, like nice, like old clothes, like the dresses and all that. But then like general day to day, for like normal clothes for the modern, because otherwise it would be unrealistic if it was too different.
Like to go with the era, so old-fashioned or modern.
Okay.
As modern day, it would be like everyday clothing, like adults and children wear. But if it was old-fashioned, you would want to see like full-length skirts or dresses for the women, and perhaps a top hat and long coats for men.
Okay.
Victorian era, maybe.
Normal clothes.
What's normal clothes?
Just like this. Basic.
Okay. What sort of characters would you expect in a drama film?
Children
Depends
usually.
what kind.
Well, like, there's like drama films where there's like a boy and a girl that are in love and then one of them dies, or there's like a family with a sick child, like My Sister's Keeper.
I prefer them to be my sort of age so I can relate to it and really get into the film. But I guess older ones, like older adults, is more like what it would happen, because obviously there's like the general stereotype that cancer or stuff like that would happen to older people, but then there is the younger ones as well. So yeah.
I would expect a family, mum and dad. Maybe they would have had like a divorce or something, but they had children. You might see a grandparent help out. I'm not too sure. Just family orientated characters, I would say.
A woman and a man and a dog.
What would need to happen within the opening 2 minutes in order to attract your attention and want to watch the rest of the film?
Like an idyllic kind of family setting, maybe something just nice that you kind of aspire to have in your general life.
So you wouldn't want anything like dramatic to immediately happen?
No, because it's the build-up. It's all about the build-up.
Okay.
The tension.
Cool.
Personally, I like something that like is quite dramatic in the film to like grab my attention. Otherwise, if it's a bit boring, it takes a long time. I'll just end up turning it off. So I'd want something that like maybe like a little clip of something that's a major event, and then it goes in to tell the story of how that happened. Because otherwise, I'll just get bored.
A hint of the main story plot, so it's interesting.
Something would have to happen within the first 2 minutes to get my attention, because if nothing happens and if it was just a boring, normal day-to-day life, I wouldn't want to watch on. So something would have to happen to like catch me. So perhaps someone dying, like maybe we're at a funeral, like a flashback maybe. So we're at a funeral, but I don't understand why we're there. And then as the film goes on, it will retell the story, so I would understand it.
Something big has to happen.
Yeah.
Like
At the beginning?
yeah, like right at the beginning.
just to-
like someone dies,
But not
and then you get
the
a story
biggest
behind it. Like after, like say you're
Flashback.
like say you're at a funeral or something. Like the first bit is at a funeral, and then everyone's like crying, and you're like,
flashbacks
what's
to the
happening?
moment.
And then you
Flashback, and then it just
It's
sorted out.
set
You know?
Thank you.